This is Patrick Kelly, the photographer and editor. We've just wrapped up finishing the Darth Maul tribute photo shoot. I've shared them with, I think, everyone that I was supposed to share them with, but today it's not going to be about that, although we might show some sample footage or sample photos, because today we're talking about my holy trinity, my 3 favorite lenses, and this excludes 50mm focal length prime. We have the reliable Canon EF 85mm f1.8, the Sigma 35mm f1.4 art lens, and the old reliable first handy 24 to 105mm f4L IS. These are all Canon EF lenses. These are not the RF. These are my favorite 3 lenses. These are usually the first ones I grab, and we're gonna talk about each one of them. Let's start off with the headshot lens, the 85. So the 85mm, this is whenever we're like, all right, we're gonna do a model shoot, we're gonna start off with headshots, possibly get a little bit wider, but not too wide for a wide angle shoot. This is the first lens I attached to my camera. As you can see here in these sample photos of my brother when he's Darth Maul, plus his makeup headshots, his regular headshots, and with some I did a landscape shot with this photo. This lens, wow. This lens is one of my favorites. It's one of the most underrated lenses to me in Canon. And I always find myself looking at the 1.4 Sigma art lens, the 1.4L lens from Canon, and this lens has never disappointed me. I don't know why it's so underrated. It's possibly because of the 1.8 aperture. It can only focus at minimum 3 feet. But this is one of my first lenses I usually grab. It doesn't have, I don't think it has any silent stepping motor or USM technology. Actually, it does have the ultrasonic motor, my bad. But this is one of my first lenses I grabbed. The next lens we used on the Darth Maul shoot. Now, we had to get really close to each other to use it because it was so wide on a full frame sensor. I always underestimate how wide this lens gets. The Sigma 35mm f1.4. This lens, it's my widest aperture lens, so it can obliterate the background. It lets in a ton of light, even with flash, even with not the best lights, and it's a beauty. The only problem I seem to have is I sometimes have to set the focus point instead of letting it let the camera decide the focus point, because usually the camera does better at choosing the focus point than I do. But with the Sigma, I sometimes have to say, all right, you're gonna have to focus here. I don't have the USB dock, and I'm not sure I want to get it because I'm not that much of a computer geek just yet. But this lens, it's a beauty. It's one of my favorite lenses. I have not had the chance to use it on a portrait shoot. The next shoot me and my brother are doing that's outside, we're going to be using this lens only. This will be the only lens I take with me. But the next inside lens shoot, we're obviously using the 85. But this lens, I wouldn't say it's the best for video because it does make a loud noise. If you're going to use it for video, you might want to have a really good mic like the Rode Wireless Go 2s. I gotta say, this lens is fantastic. When I first got this, I was actually looking at the Tamron 35mm f1.8 or the Canon EF 35mm f2 IS. But the reason I went with Sigma was this is not the best reason. It's because it would ship quicker to my house. It was more expensive than those two, but when I usually buy my gear, I usually buy it from MPB or Amazon, because you have the option to receive it much quicker and cheaper. MPB, when they do priority shipping, they allow you to, it's cheaper than doing B&H and BH Photo Video or Adorama. So I bought it off Amazon used. And I love this lens. Finally, the Canon EF 24 to 105mm f4L. This was my first photography lens I've ever bought. I bought it with my Canon C100 and my 70D when I quickly transitioned to photography more than video. And who knows, I might go back and forth depending on what's doing well. This was one of my favorite lenses to film with and to shoot with, or to do photo shoots with. When I moved back to Georgia, to the Atlanta area rather than living in the Houston area, this was one of the only lenses I used for photo shoots. As you can see here, the photos right here and the ones on my website, this lens did a phenomenal job. I mean, it obliterated the background at f4. It has image stabilization, so I don't have to worry about having shaky photos, and it focuses so tightly. Now, I've read from other photographers that this is also the version 1. When this lens was popped out or came out, there were some good versions of this lens and some bad versions. I'm happy I got the good version. When I didn't want to use my 85 and I could only take one lens to a photo shoot because we don't have that much time, this is the lens I grabbed. Now, it's also some of the landscape shots on my website. That was before I got the 17 to 40. So this was also phenomenal for landscape. I'm so happy with these 3 lenses now that even if I do upgrade or add to my collection or add to my kit, these are usually the first lenses I grab. Sigma 35, Canon 85, the Canon 24 to 105. I love these lenses. These do the job for me whenever I go out to a photo shoot, especially a family photo shoot. I'm usually grabbing these 2 lenses just in case. I'm really happy with how these shoots have come out. I haven't really had a bad photo shoot yet, and I'm dreading having that. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the future? I want to thank you all for watching. You can search these lenses on Google if you want to buy them. Not from me, but from MPB, KEH, all the photo video stores. But thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and have a very